Hello and welcome to our IPL show, viewers. You're watching Newsx. Now, Delhi Capitals signed off their IPL 2026 campaign with a commanding 40-run victory over Kolkata Knight Riders at Eden Gardens as Kuldeep Yadav produced a match-winning spell to earn Man of the Match honours. After KL Rahul's explosive 60 of 30 balls helped Delhi Capitals post a challenging 203 for 5. Kuldeep spun a web with brilliant figures of 3 for 29 in 4 overs, dismantling the KKR chase. He removed dangerous batter Cameron Green, then scalped skipper Ajinkya Rahane for 63 before producing a sensational first ball dismissal of Rinku Singh, caught brilliantly at long off, which left KKR reeling at 128 for 5 and put him on a hat-trick. His clever variations of flight and control in the middle overs triggered a collapse as KKR were bowled out for 163, handing the Delhi Capitals a convincing win in what turned out to be a perfect redemption performance by the wrist spinner against his former franchisee. To discuss this further, I'm joined by cricket scholar Sunil Yashkalra.
Well, absolutely. Thank you very much. It's been a great day when you look at what happened yesterday. But more importantly, we want to talk about, well, come back to Kuldeep Yadav with my colleague AKS Satish. But at the same time, Jofra Archer has been making news altogether. So over to my colleague, David Brooks. David, Jofra Archer had gone through a lot of pain, misery, injury. People had written him off, except Rob Key and the group. They certainly backed him. You were one of yours. He plays for your county, and you were one of the staunch supporter. Did he show the glimpse of what he was capable of as a teenager when he came into the team?
Well, yes, Sunil. Good greetings to you and to Zakwan and Satish. We've never given up on, never lost faith in Jofra Archer down in Sussex, although we don't see him playing so much for his county these days. And one thing that didn't surprise me yesterday was not just his spell of hostile bowling, again getting absolutely key wicket of Sharma early on, but his batting. Now, his batting doesn't come as any surprise to me. When he came into the Sussex team, he was seen as a very useful late-order batsman. We haven't seen that really so much in the IPL, but we saw a big glimpse of it yesterday when he gave himself a chance, when he realised that he had more time than usual, didn't need to play the bat from ball one. We did see him bat pretty sensibly, and I know his coach rates his batting highly, and I'd like to see him taking that number 7 spot. He took the number 7 spot yesterday because of the injury to Jadeja, but I think he's perfectly capable of batting there. So we've seen Archer hitting the odd boundary. We've seen him with those blistering opening spells, but this was a game where he put it all together. And, you're looking for a standout player of the match for that. The game against Mumbai Indians, it would have to be Jofra Archer. His fielding was pretty electric too.
Absolutely. Well, we'll come back to our other show where we talk about Kuldeep Yadav at the same time. My fellow panelist, AKS Satish. Satish, this boy was in a different form altogether. In fact, we've seen him making a comeback from the injury and also playing one of those odd matches. We are talking about Kuldeep Yadav, who's taken 3 wickets. You want to just throw some light on the way and with the tenacity he bowled yesterday?
Hi, Sunil. Hi, David, Zach, and hello, viewers. Sunil, there is no end to talking about Kuldeep Yadav. He's probably, if you look at the world cricket, there are only about 3 left-arm wrist spinners playing in the world. So it is unfortunate that he was not getting his rhythm well early in the season. Otherwise, then he could have been in a better spot. Probably they could have even qualified as the 4th team because the points table, the points difference was not much. But having said that, again, Kuldeep is really a key member of the Indian team, and he's been part and parcel of the white ball cricket. So he is a phenomenal bowler, and he is an astute student as well. Because if you look at, he started bowling a little faster last year. He changed his action. So these are some of the traits that one needs to appreciate and understand, that the player is always willing to improve and raise the bar so that he could be probably useful to the team. So in that sense, I think Kuldeep getting that 3 wickets and the man of the match should do him a world of good. Probably then now we can look at it from the Afghanistan one day or other shorter formats. But having said that, he's a phenomenal bowler. He's a wonderful cricketer. If there is one thing which probably, if I wanted him to do something, is better, is he has to improve his fitness so he doesn't have to go back into this injury mode every now and then. But again, each one to himself. But as a former cricketer, former player, I would like to see him get a little fitter so that he doesn't get these breaks and he can be a better asset to the Indian team.
Well, very good point. In fact, Zach, I'd like you to explain his contribution in the match yesterday. But before I hand on to your inputs, I'd like to just draw a conversation, a very private conversation I had with Kuldeep Yadav. In fact, meeting him at the lounge of an airport. And I asked him about the way he's conducted himself with so much humility and grace. So he was very honest in admitting that, yes, he did make some changes in his action. Yes, the injuries were a part of it, but very philosophically, he brushed it aside, saying that it's all a part and parcel of it, and he was prepared to take it to the next level. In fact, he was, very ready to grind it. Zach, just to put into perspective, how was Kuldeep Yadav's contribution into the entire match yesterday?
Hello, everyone. Well, talking about Kuldeep Yadav, I mean, was a clear match winner, wasn't he, yesterday? 3 for 29 in 4 overs. His spell basically dominated and changed the chase from competitive to almost impossible. In a 204 chase, KKR needed their middle order to keep the scoring rate close to 10 and over, but Kuldeep, he controlled the pace, the length, and then angles beautifully. So his wickets were not just statistical because they were high impact dismisses as well. They came when KKR still had a possible route back into the game. He bowled with attacking intent, kept the ball in wicket taking areas, and then forced batters to manufacture shots instead of scoring naturally. And that is why his 3 for 29 is more valuable than just an economical figure. It directly killed the chase structure. And like you said, cricket is an ever evolving game. And it is up to the player to be able to adapt and change. And him constantly putting in that effort goes to show the character and conduct, and as to why he is a clear match winner when it comes to games like this.
Well, absolutely. He's a clear match winner. Of course, he's got his mature head over his mature shoulders. Well, in moving on right now, as Rajasthan Royals stormed into IPL 2025 playoff with a thrilling 30-run victory over Mumbai Indians at the Wankhede Stadium. Of course, all-round performance from Jafra Archer, who was named man of the match. After Rajasthan Royals were sent into bat, they reach a competitive 205 for 8. Well, the late surge along with Ravindra Jadeja, he turned in the game with the ball, delivering a fiery spell of 3 for 17 in 4 overs. That shook the top order. Well, A.K. Satish, if I'm talking about Jafra Archer, his contribution with the ball, with the, of course, on and off, sometimes he's on, sometimes he's off. What is your assessment of his overall contribution to the team and just crossing the line yesterday?
Sunil, Jofra Archer is a very deceptive pace bowler that he has shown over the years. He doesn't come steaming in, but he skids the ball so much so that it catches the batsman off guard. So he's a very deceptible bowler, and he was with the Mumbai Indians for almost 1 or 2 seasons where he didn't play a single game. So it's unfortunate that Mumbai couldn't use his services, and his best performance coming against his former team. They must be wondering why what we missed, or how he could have not contributed more to Mumbai's chances in the last few years. But having said that, Jofra is a world-class all-rounder. He's one of the kind, Sunil, because the way he's probably the fastest bowler who could even hit somebody like Steven Smith from nowhere. So He's deceptively quick, and that always keeps the batsman on the back foot. So they will be always tentative to go against him as a bowler when he comes and bowls. So they'll try to see whether he's bowling quick or whether he's bowling the change of pace. So these are some of the things that he always brings in, and he's a phenomenal asset to any team. And but for Jofra Archer's effort yesterday, because I think the last 5 overs or 5.5 overs, Rajasthan scored something like 75 runs, which is after losing about 6 wickets. That gives them that advantage of going past the 200 mark, which is psychologically a boost to the team. And coming back and getting those wickets, especially that of Rohit Sharma, you are always pushed onto the back foot. So he is an invaluable asset to any team when it comes to Jofra Archer. And its only thing is every fan, or even if I'm not a Rajasthan fan or anybody, I would like to see him play more instead of because he is more susceptible to injuries, unfortunately, because of his action and the way his body is. You can't do much about it. That's the way it is. But whenever he plays, and even if you look at even against India in the World Cup, he scored 3 sixes of 3 balls. So India won only by 6 runs. So he is a phenomenal talent. He has not done justice to his talents in the past because of various reasons. Because when he peaks, his injury brings him down, and when he comes back, it's a very difficult career for him. But whenever he does what he does, it's always a pleasure to
Well,
watch.
David,
Sunil.
he does what he does, and he's quite susceptible to injuries. David Brooks, you're one of the few commentators and critics that has seen Jofra Archer from the very first season in your county. Do you think these are the best days of his life? Of course, it's not the summer of '69, but do you think these are the best days of Jofra Archer's career?
Well, we talk about his susceptibility to injury. The fact is, when he was picked for England, Joe Root, who was captain at the time, over-bowled him. He was over-reliant on Jofra Archer, bowled far too many overs, was required to come back for second and third spells, still expected to hit the speed gun. My view on Jofra is that he's a much more, as Satish was saying, he's a more deceptive bowler than just speed alone. He moves the ball around, swings it both ways. He looks up to Courtney Walsh as one of his heroes. But when he started playing for England, all the emphasis was on pace, all the emphasis was on the speed gun, and I think that did a lot of damage to him. And he hasn't quite been the same bowler since. Now we saw him long spell of injury, came back last year to play Test cricket for the first time and did well. What I've seen of him in this tournament, he's coming back to his best, and once he can stay away from injury in this last stages of the tournament, we hope to see him in action in Test matches for England this coming summer. He's going to miss the first Test because he's going to be deployed at Rajasthan Royals. He's then going to go back to Barbados for a rest, apparently. So he needs to be carefully managed because England are paying the price for overbowling him in the early part of his career.
David, I'll have to bring this point here. There was a viral photograph of you and Jofra Archer when he was nursing his injury alone. He was at one of the grounds. What was the discussion like? How did it go? And what did you see of him? He wanted to get back from the injury. Just share that anecdote.
He's had a tough time, and I just wanted to reassure him that as far as his supporters and his support base at Sussex was concerned, we weren't going to give up on him. Because there were times when Jofra's had so many injuries that people have been saying, oh, his Test career is over, he'll just be a franchise player now. Well, no, he's resisted that. What impressed me when I've spoken to him is he wants to play all formats. He's always been very motivated by first-class cricket and Test cricket, and he continues to play all formats. And I think that's a great thing. He's actually shown his ability across the T20 franchise circuit and Test cricket, and long may that continue. He's got the appetite for that. And he doesn't want to be seen just as a franchise bowler bowling 4 over spells. He is capable of a lot more than that, but needs to be handled with care. He's a prize asset, and fingers crossed that he can go the rest of the tournament without picking up any injuries.
Well, absolutely. Well, moving on, we've got RCB and Gujarat Titans collide in a high stakes qualifier one tonight with a direct spot in IPL 26 final. On the line, table toppers RCB led by Patidar take on a formidable Gujarat Titans side captained by Shubman Gill in what promises to be a blockbuster. Yes, of course, everything related to IPL is big blockbuster, of course. 18 points, RCB hold on to the edge with net run rate. Expect some fireworks from Virat Kohli and company against GTS strong batting lineup with Sai Sudarshan and Rashid Khan's bowling spell. Well, let me just get on with my producer on this. I need to know who is your favorite player. When you look at the head to head, it's very interesting what you see on your screen right now. You've got old Bhuvneshwar Kumar, Josh Hazelwood against the fiery Rabada and the likes of Rashid Khan. But again, it's going to be a good temperament kind of a match against two of the biggest teams that we've got. David Brooks, what is it that you make up of this competition and this classic stats on your screen right now?
Well, it's a great head-to-head. Two teams that fully deserve to qualify. I may surprise you by just thinking that the Titans may have an edge because of they've got a settled team. Whereas with RCB, do they bring back Phil Salt? Phil Salt's back in the country, back with the squad. Do they bring him in? And if so, who do they drop? You can't drop Venkatesh Iyer after his performances in the last couple of games. Maybe Jitish Sharma could make way for Salt because Salt probably needs to be in that team. Yeah, people talk about the bowlers, and Bhuve Kumar and Josh Hazelwood have stood out, haven't they? In recent times, Josh Hazelwood's taken some stick, but I fully expect him to bounce back in this. So a lot of star names, two teams that I would expect. I'm thinking these are the two teams that will play the final as well. However way it works out, I don't necessarily see it as terminal who loses this. Of course, whoever's won the qualifier, I believe they've gone on to win the tournament. So it's a pretty key match for both teams.
Well, absolutely. It's a key match. But when you look at head to head stats between the two teams in the last 5 matches, RCB seems to have an upper edge. Satish, my question to you is when you look at head to head stats, do you think in almost a final game of the series, do you think these stats are inconsequential now, or will they still play in the mind when you look at head to head between bowlers and batters?
I think it is a bit inconsequential because it's a knockout game. Basically, it's though the losers get another chance, the stakes are quite high. So I fully agree with David. Even I feel that both the teams have the potential to be in the final. But I would like to think that it is two things. One is it is going to be the GT bowlers versus the RCB batsmen because RCB is loaded with batsmen, whereas GT is loaded with quality bowlers who have all performed well. So if one of them strikes, whoever strikes there will have that edge in that game. But I also like to see that the GT is more dependent on just the top three. If you look at almost 1,800 runs were scored by the top three, Butler, Sudarshan, and Gill. So in a playoff situation, going in with just three informed batsmen, it's not the right approach. But since there is going to be a second chance, the pressure might be a bit low. In case if GT loses the first game, then they will be in bigger trouble in the qualifier too. But having said that, I would go with RCB because they have a better balance in the side, saying that yes, Hazelwood has not been at the best, but you have Bobby Hazelwood and you have somebody like Rasik Salam who's also bowled well. Of course, Krunal Pandya, the spinner who could bowl the bouncer and surprise the batsman. So you have some variety there in RCB's ranks, and the defending champions have shown that they are still the force to be reckoned with. But they have a phenomenal batting lineup, and Venkatesh Iyer coming into the party late in the series has only complicated their troubles, or I would say it's a problem of plenty for them in their batting strength. But they need to still find one bowler who could bowl 4 good overs and then keep the run rate because That's where they are leaking the runs. But I would still feel RCB has got the edge, especially with the experience of Virat Kohli in a big match like this.
Well, Virat Kohli in a big match like this is what the former cricket editor and a sports editor of Gulf News, my friend AKS Satish, prediction is all about. In fact, we move on to a special segment called Cricketer Special Prediction for the Day today. And Satish, for that matter, puts who will win according to you, Satish? Who's your favorite? We've got the answer, but we are trying to get into a new segment where we get your prediction and hold you to it after the match is done. So be very careful about the prediction that you make, my friend.
It's for the qualifier one or it's for the final?
It's for the qualifier, the match today.
I would go with RCB. I would go with RCB as my favorite, and that's where my money will be.
Well, RCB, I just need to know the reason why you think RCB needs to get into it. Because is it because of Virat Kohli, the great the duo that is there?
Not just that, it's a combination of many factors which I already mentioned. They have a very, very strong batting lineup, just the way Sunrisers have got. The only thing is the intents might not be the same as Sunrisers because they have got some even more power-packed attacking batsmen. But with Kohli being the fulcrum of the batting and everything revolves around him, I would put their batting is as fearsome or as difficult to handle as the Sunrisers Hyderabad, and the same way Cummins and others bowling for Sunrisers, Bowie and Hazelwood will be able to stem that runs. It is only those the other two or three bowlers who need to step up. If they could do, I would say it's a RCB game, but it again depends on whether they are chasing or setting the target is something important. Because if you have somebody like David coming in at number 7 or number 8 and who could score a 50 of just 15 balls, which he showed against Chennai this year. So it's amazing batting lineup, Sunil, they have.
Well, David coming at number 7, but at the same time, David comes in now. And David Brooks. David, you've watched the game from close quarters since you were 5, and you're still playing well past 50. You're playing the game of cricket and watching it. In fact, for the audience, he's been the former cricket director at Channel 4. And guess what? Michael Olding got his first job thanks to his recommendation in cricket, of course. We're talking about David Brooks here. David Brooks, after 5 decades of cricket in various sectors and segments, who do you think, in all your assessment and your experience, who do you think will edge past today and why?
Well, I wouldn't put all those years on the line over one IPL match. That's what we've already demonstrated that across the tournament. This is fool's gold, trying to predict, because you've got so many match winners on both sides. You know, as Satish says, the question of the toss, who wins the toss, that's going to be pretty key. And who's going to step up? Look, Virat Kohli, as the founder member of his overseas fan club, is perfectly capable of winning this game on his own. But equally, I look at the top 3 of the Titans and the way they performed in the last match. In particular, Joss Buttler has hit some big form. Sudarshan, we know his quality, and Gul, of course, his quality too. I like the look of that. It's very settled. They know what they're doing. So if you ask me to say where I'm just going to give a slight edge to the Titans, but look, it's a very close game, and I wouldn't want to risk my entire cricketing legacy on this one prediction.
Well, absolutely. That was David Brooks. In fact, David, I hope you have no piano playing engagements for the evening.
No, well, isn't it a day? It's a day off. I hope I've got this right. That they were talking about the qualifier starting tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah.
Right.
Today, have I got that right? Yes. So I may
Absolutely.
fit in some musical activity in the meantime, because I've got a rare day off from the IPL.
Well, absolutely. Zakwan, I move on to you with very little time on our hand, but I definitely would put this cricketer challenge on to you to know who's your favorite and why. And we've got like 45 seconds.
Yeah, RCB looks like the more complete side on paper because they have had batting consistency, stronger bowling identity, and all that. But I still feel like I'd slightly lean to Gujarat Titans because they have a calmer template under pressure. So GD's biggest strength comes in with their top order, not just to score runs, to control phases, and that my guess would either be the identity play or a good match winning, match chasing run chase. So Gujarat Titans for me.
Well, absolutely. It's absolutely even when it comes to two of the best teams of the tournament that is playing today. Well, that's all we had time for. I thank three of my guests. Wonderful panel with amazing set of questions put together with amazing creatives put together. The show is called Cricketer. This is the IPL special edition with three of my eminent panelists. I thank them all. Don't go anywhere else. We'll be back after a short commercial break. Don't touch the remote.